I want to inject this movie into my fucking veins. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is the highly anticipated sequel to the Oscar-winning animated film Into the Spider-Verse, which is not only one of my favorite superhero movies, not only one of my favorite animated movies, but it's one of my favorite movies, period. If you couldn't tell that by the 5-minute fangasm video I made when I first saw it.
It is amazing, it is awesome, it's fantastic, it's spectacular.
Yeah, settle down there, kid. But can you really blame me? Phil Lord and Chris Miller took something that shouldn't have worked as well as it did and made one of the smartest, funniest, visually breathtaking films I've seen probably ever. And while a follow-up was absolutely encouraged, it also kind of came with its own set of seemingly unattainable expectations. How do you top something that was already so amazing to begin with? This is how. Can we just give Lord and Miller all of the movies from here on out? Along with James Gunn, these two have never made a bad project in my eyes. This movie takes everything that worked about the first movie and amps it up to infinity. Visually, the film is immaculate. Seeing how they incorporate all these distinct art styles and none of it feels jarring is so great. I've talked about movies with poster shots before, but this movie has enough poster shots to cover the top 2 floors of my apartment building. There's so much attention to detail, not just in the little quirks in the animation, but everything going on in the background. You will have to watch this movie multiple times to catch everything. I loved the new characters they introduced. The standout is probably Daniel Kaluuya as Spider-Punk. He's just such a chaotic anti-hero and has a lot of funny moments. I really like the development to Miguel's character. He's not just some asshole or a power-hungry narcissist. He has a legitimately tragic reason and motivation for why he has to keep order over the multiverse. I was also surprised in how much I really liked Spot. Not only are his design and the use of his powers really well executed, but the way they managed to take him from lighthearted villain of the week to legitimately terrifying threat is really impressive. The story as well is a great progression from the first. The way it talks about not being able to change destiny and the sacrifices that come with being Spider-Man and how it utilizes canon events in the Spider-Man lore is very inventive and meta without going into parody territory. It not only adds a layer of weight to the story, but it also emphasizes the tragedy of Spider-Man in a way we haven't really seen before. The mentality of having to watch the ones you love die for the betterment of the multiverse kind of makes the Spider Society feel like a cult, but it felt realistic that all the Spider-Mens would feel obligated to listen to the crazy vampire guy. I also really liked Gwen's story. That cold open where it shows her backstory was so well done. Seeing her guilt over not being able to save her friend and the rift that forms between her and her dad is heartbreaking, and it adds perfect motivation to why she would join this group. This line,
"We are supposed to be the good guys,"
holds so much extra weight when you see what she gets put through in this movie. This movie is not only 2.5 hours long, but it's also part 1 of a 2-part story. And in the hands of less capable people, this could have easily dragged on and felt really underwhelming. But it really doesn't. I never found myself bored or anxiously waiting for the end. I was just on the edge of my seat for the whole thing. And when we finally hit that cliffhanger ending, I was absolutely speechless. I can't say enough great things about this movie. This is hands down the best movie of 2023, and it's gonna be really hard to top this one. The action, the animation, the voice acting, the humor, the story, the soundtrack. Oh my god, Miguel's theme is so fucking cool. I want to hear that theme play when I'm walking to the grocery store. Lord and Miller have knocked this one out of the park, and I urge everyone to go see this in theaters. I can't wait to see it again, and I can't wait to see part 3 next year. And I'd give this movie an easy 5 out of 5.